Buying new construction sounds like the dream, right? Brand new house, no repairs, no problems. But I need to tell you something. Some of the biggest mistakes I see buyers make happen specifically with new construction. And if you stay to the end, I'm going to show you the one situation where buying new construction can actually backfire financially. Hey there, if we haven't met, I'm Corieburck and I'm a realtor here in Yakima, and I help people make smart buying decisions, not just easy ones. So if you're even thinking about new construction, this is a conversation we should be having early. Let's start here. Most buyers think new construction is easier, and in some ways it is, but what they don't realize is you're not just buying a house. You're buying into a fully formed system that is controlled by the builder, and that changes a lot. Builders right now have an overload of inventory, so they are offering things like interest rate buy downs, closing cost credits, and preferred lender deals. And here's where it can get tricky. Sometimes you can afford more house monthly with new construction than resale, which sounds amazing, right? But those incentives are tied to things like their lender, their timelines, and even their contracts. So yes, you might save money monthly, but you're giving up a lot of flexibility to do it. The next thing is one thing that buyers massively underestimate, and that is that not all builders are equal. Not even close. And not all project managers within that builder's ecosystem are created equal, which makes it even more complicated. So when you walk through a model home, you need to look at the trim, you need to look at the tile, you need to look at the finishes. Because here's the truth. What you see is what you get. And if corners are being cut in the model, they are definitely being cut in your house. And an even better pro tip is if you can talk to someone who's owned one of their houses for a year or two, maybe they're in an earlier phase of the neighborhood you're looking at. That is the biggest pro tip I can give you. Talk to people who already own one of the builder's homes. Or even talk to your realtor, because they may have been in some of their homes after they've, been lived in for a while. Makes a big difference. Another thing that almost nobody talks about is the 2 to 4 year resale problem. So let's say you buy new construction and then 2 to 3 years later, for whatever reason, you're in a position where you need to sell. So here's the problem. You are now in competition with brand new homes, especially if you were in an earlier phase of like a subdivision. And those new homes come with things like builder warranties, incentives, artificially lowered interest rates, and that never lived in before appeal, which is a lot. People love a home that nobody's ever lived in before. So even if you think your house is great, and we know your house is great, buyers are still going to choose new over yours most of the time. What this means is you may have to price lower or sit longer because of your competition. Now, here's another thing about new construction, and that's that you still need a buyer agent. Please do not skip this. This one drives me a little bit crazy. Yes, you can absolutely walk into a model home without an agent, but here's the reality that most people aren't thinking of when they do that. The builder rep works for the builder, not you. It is literally their job to protect the builder, get the job done, and keep things moving. Your agent's job is to protect your money, help you understand the contract, and catch issues early. And here's the kicker. In most cases, the builder pays your agent anyway. Now, new construction contracts are not like resale. They are definitely stricter, less flexible, and definitely more builder friendly. They are drafted by the builder's lawyers after all. You're going to see things in those contracts like limited ways to cancel, really tight timelines, and deposit risks for your earnest money deposit. And if you do not understand what you're signing, things can get really expensive really fast. Okay, so I've heard me say a lot of potential cons about buying new construction. So when does new construction actually make sense? So here's the sweet spot. The first is if you plan to stay for at least 5 to 7 years. And next is if you really want low maintenance, especially up front, you like modern layouts, and you can take advantage of incentives. That is when it is an absolute great fit. But if you're thinking short term, that's where I really start to get cautious and maybe tell you to slow down and consider all of your options. So a simple way to think about it is that new construction is not better or worse than resale. It's just different. And the biggest mistake that you can make is treating it like it's the same process, because it certainly is not. Now, if you're considering new construction here in Yakima County, let's talk before you walk into a model home, and let's walk into that model home together. Seriously, because what you do in that first visit can impact your entire deal. And if this was helpful to you, watch this next video. YouTube thinks you might like it.